Would you trust Google to give medical advice? Well, soon you can search for a health condition and Google will present you with a list of symptoms and the rarity and severity of that disease. And it's not just some algorithm. This information has been crafted and compiled in part by medical doctors at the Mayo Clinic, so this is legit information. What do you think? Is this bringing necessary information within easy reach of the masses, or will this do more harm than good when people start freaking out that they have some kind of terminal disease? What do you guys think? Dan, why don't you start?
Oh, man. It just reminds me of that old phrase, nothing is more fatal than looking up your symptoms on WebMD. I think, seriously, this is just another venue for hypochondriacs to get all riled up. You can't trust an online service to tell you what's wrong with you. It's like, go to a doctor, people. Go to a flesh and blood doctor.
Yeah, that's the thing too, right? Is that at the end of every one of these things, it's going to be like, yeah, you should probably consult a doctor. And I would hope that there's no one out there who's just like, I don't know, Google said it's just allergies.
Yeah, and those are the same people that'll YouTube surgical procedures.
Right. Do it yourself.
I learned a lot on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
The good thing about the difference of this is that unlike WebMD, where you can go and put in your symptoms, this is for results of a specific search. So hopefully they won't change that, and you're not putting in I have a cough and a runny nose, and it turns up, like you said, WebMD being like, oh, it's cancer, which is what it always is when you search on WebMD, or it's one of the choices. And Google does say that 1 in 20 of their searches are for health-related information.
Wow.
So if people are already searching for it, and then they're presented with a list of sites that you don't know who that's written by or from or anything, and the alternative is Google, curating these answers, it might be better information. I don't know. What do you think, Louis? Good, bad?
I think it's a good service, the fact that they're doing that, and the fact that already 1 out of 20, I actually expected that number to be higher, but still 1 out of 20 searches being something about, diseases or whatnot. I think it's good that Google caught up to that, and they're saying all right, you know what, we're gonna get legit doctors, and we're gonna have videos, illustrations, blah blah blah, and all that, an entire little package, so that when someone looks up, I don't know, chickenpox, measles, flu, or whatever, you'll have that one page that has all the information on there. Now, like you said, Dan, though, you would hope that people would still say, hey, you know what? I'm not sure about this. Maybe I should consult a doctor. As long as people are still doing that, as long as people know that this doesn't replace a human doctor, a visit to go see a human doctor, then it's good, I think. I mean,
now, have any of you, let's just take a quick survey of the three of us, have any of you ever gone online and searched for symptoms that you had?
Always.
No, you do not.
Always.
Well, there comes that time where it's 9 o'clock at night, and you're like, I can't call a doctor. Let me just make sure that this isn't something terrible, but it's always something terrible that it could be.
So both of you have done this?
I do it for myself and for my dogs whenever they get sick. I'm like, he's limping.
Oh,
what
my
makes you limping? Kind of like that. I do. Even last year, I had a ton of dental stuff done.
Right.
I looked up every single procedure on Google. Dental implant. Oh, dental. Everything.
Right.
Wow.
I
have never done that.
Wow. No, there's just a morbid curiosity where you say to yourself, let me look it up and just put my fears to rest. And then you look it up, and your fears are never put to rest when you do it that way. But see, this way, it's the other way. I feel like Google can be a very good resource in that, you go to your doctor first, and they say, oh, you have XYZ.
Right.
Then, because once they tell you a diagnosis, your mind is just running a mile a minute, and you forget all the little details they give you, and you don't really know all the pathology of it or whatever. And then so you can go home and be like, oh, he told me I have such and such, and then look it up and see all the information right there compiled for you. You don't have to remember anything that your doctor said. It's kind of a reassurance that way. So I think Dr. Down.
I'll buy that part.
Yeah.
I'll buy that part.
Dr. Down is much better than Google Up.
Yes, very true.
Yeah. Or even if you go to the doctor and they prescribe you something, let's say, what's the allergy med, Claritin or something like that. You go home, look up Claritin side effects, and next thing you know, you have a ton of different results.
Right. Yeah. And if there's something that is like that at the top, it says, because they also list the severity and whatever of whatever you have.
Right.
So if at the top you search something and it says, very common or like not common at all, then that kind of puts your mind to rest and be like, well, it can't be this because it says it's very uncommon.
Right.
I don't have acute brain parasites
Right.
this time.
And it's coming from an actual doctor versus like, Bob's website or something like that.
Right, and that's the thing. Whenever you do a Google search for any medical condition, you don't know where those results are coming from, and you wind up like clicking on a bunch of them, and there's like all different kinds of information on there, and whatever. So at least now you'd hope that someone at the Mayo Clinic is like being pretty straightforward about what a disease does. Well, that's our 2 cents. What's yours? Would you trust Dr. Google to give you a diagnosis, or just for more information? Or do you find this to be, kind of a hypochondriac thing for them to cater to? Tell us what you think in the comments below. For DealNews.com, along with Dan Ledbetter and Luis Ramirez, I'm Jeff Summergy. Goodbye.